What's up, guys? It's Josh McDonald back to you with another video. Thanks to Vivek for this question in the comments on one of my more popular recent videos. He wanted me to talk about the latest Google update, particularly around Reddit and Quora dominating the SERPs. And I'm not going to dive too deep into the topic, but I am going to give you my opinion on it and what I think. He asked about the future of SEO. And when I hear a question like that, I think future as in years from now, but I'm not going to talk about years from now. I'm going to talk about just months from now, what I think is next. So if you're not already familiar, take a look. Here is Reddit on Ahrefs somewhere around June. It started going up, and then into the summer, August, it started really taking off. Similarly, ignore that pop-up from Loom. End of August here, Quora started taking off. And going from, oh boy, let's see, less than 90 million to, we're about to hit double that. So 2xing in the case of Quora. And then I don't know where we're going to start it, somewhere right here to here. Let's just use this one here. Call it 110 million. We're far past 220. So we're more than double, looking at a double and a half roughly. So 2.5 times the traffic in just a few months. My thoughts are the end goal here is always going to be around the user and the user intent. Similar to when you're writing your blog topics, your blog articles, picking topics, and writing content around those keywords. Google is going to rank those that have the lowest bounce. Is obviously one large factor. And when you're looking at something like this, I know from personal experience, when I send someone a Reddit thread who has never been on Reddit, which is the majority of users on the internet, right? Most users are not. I mean, Reddit's what's their demographic? Mid-20s, college-age people, probably mainly male, mainly educated. Like it's very niche demographic. When you look worldwide, like a lot of people do not use the platform and don't know how it works. It's not as simple as Facebook. Things are people like it because it's like a great way to get product recommendations. It's not perfect. There's obviously a lot of bias in there, but the fact that you can downvote and upvote things, it really, when it's not being manipulated by like affiliate marketers, for example, it can help you find, decent deals, decent anything. You need a new mouse, keyboard, you need a recommendation for anything, the best protein powder. I mean, whatever it is. And of course, more niche into that as well, right? Not just the best protein powder, but the best protein powder for those with some sort of bowel disease or things like that. And so I understand behind why the idea, why Reddit is so popular, but it's not the same reason why it's growing, because Quora, on the other hand, is full of junk. Like I don't know if you ever clicked a link like in the search results to Quora. It's a mess. I mean, their app is a mess. It's filled with ads, and they're so native that even a trained mind like myself can barely tell the difference between like what's going on. The user experience, the product, everything is kind of a disaster. And I can't remember if they were one of the startups that were struggling recently. I'm trying to remember. There's so many that are struggling right now. With WeWork just making the news this week. Yeah, that was this week as well. So it's hard to keep track of some of these big companies struggling. DoorDash, but I think Quora was in the mix as well, struggling. And I mean, the user experience, it's a simpler platform to understand. Like it doesn't have the upvotes and the nested comments and the threads. Like I think Reddit has like an unlimited nested comment ability, whereas like Facebook, who is built for like the average person, very low IQ requirement, it only nests like 2 levels or something. So when you go on something like Reddit, it's good if you know what you're doing, but it can be confusing off the start. And of course, the average Google user does not know how to use Reddit. So what I think the future holds is this is probably going to be, I don't want to say reversed, but there's going to be like a corrective update. This is kind of crazy. A lot of people I mean, they're just going to bounce off this. It's training people to use a small number of like high authority sites. There's a few other forums as well I could pull up, but we'll just stick to these two for now. I think that based on the user experience, Reddit being, you need to understand how it works. Like the top part is like a question, and then down below it's upvoted, and it's not always like sorted by upvotes either. Like there's like sometimes it's like sorted by hot, and then there's top, and then there's recency, and then there's controversial. I think the default is hot, if I had to recall. But again, it's just kind of not super user friendly if you imagine sending it to like your average 45-year-old internet user. They just I know because I've done it. I've sent it to people, and they're just like, I don't understand this. What you're sending me here? I'm like, well, the top is, you have to like explain it. Like the top is a question, like a person, and down below everything is like a comment, and they can upvote. And there's like every time it's indented, it's like a nested reply, and it's just you can't send people to that and not expect them to hit the back button at a high rate. It's just easier to send them to an article where everything's kind of compiled. And then a similar thing with Quora. UX issues at the forefront. Different kind though, but then again, it's kind of similar as well. It's a poor design, whereas Reddit isn't poor; it just requires you to know how to use it. Quora's is just a clusterfuck. It's really hard to understand what's going on, what's an ad, what's not. Does this question? It could be a question that has no answers, and it will still have like a boatload of content on the page. It'll be like other question answers from other questions injected under a question that's not really related. Like it's so confusing and just a really awful experience. So I expect a ton of negative signals to that. And obviously they're not hurting the site. You can see it continue to climb. So I expect the Google engineers, the team, to make some sort of adjustment. But in these large corporations like the size of Google, things are very slow. Google has some very, very intelligent people working for them, but they're not always the ones making the decision. Who knows what's going on in the search department right now? New initiatives, someone wants to implement something, and there's so much like politics within a company like that, that it's hard to say even why this is being forced. But I mean, in the end, I imagine they'll look at the data and see what's going on and probably reverse it. So my 2 cents is just probably just keep doing what you're doing and wait it out. If you're dealing with some low DR domains, it's just a kind of a waiting game. Not everyone has the privilege of working with like a DR50 or DR60 domain that is really benefiting right now in this current SEO climate. But with Reddit and Quora, like back not long ago, I would search Quora and look at their keywords and just try to find low competition keywords. That's how it used to be, because Quora used to suck in the results. And you could easily just make quality content and outrank it, but that's not the case right now. But I don't think it's to last. I think like I said, I think it'll be corrected, and it's so hard to predict like what's going on inside the walls of Google right now. It's who knows what they're thinking. It's such a large company. The search department is so large. There's so many people making decisions, and I'm sure everyone has their own idea on how they think the algorithm should work and different parts of it. It's probably just a mess. So in the end, we'll just see what time brings, but I can't see it staying like this for too long. Anyways, hope this was a decent input. Again, I'm not going super deep into it. I'm going to try to keep it under 10 minutes here. But if you guys have any questions or any topics, conversation, follow up, anything, just drop in the comments and we'll go from there. Thanks.